question that I have in mind here is, if Methus is such a powerhouse, isn't because Anthropic instead purposely trained Methus just to be a hacker?
Yes.
So they didn't train Chrome.
So I saw something this week called Sky Shield, and it detects the drones, it detects who they are, it pulls their firmware identification.
Oh, interesting.
But
you remember when they tried everything to make Internet Explorer sexy?
Yeah.
And they couldn't. They
couldn't.
You know, like after an initial release, Internet Explorer was the Explorer, version 1, right? But after Chrome came around, which is Anthropic's version, right? Equivalent. Chrome is Anthropic's equivalent of
the browser.
Chrome. Windows is what continues to dominate.
Because nobody wants to redo their directories. Their directories have all that knowledge of who has access to what printer and on what floor.
Yeah, but then it's all about the business model. When Microsoft saw that they were losing grip on users, they went after the enterprise client. But what I see here is Anthropic taking a hold of the enterprise client and also the user. Welcome to the From the Future podcast. I am your host, Manny Hernandez, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Carlos Art Nevares. Carlos, my man, say what's up.
What's up, Manny?
Each week, we cut through the noise on technology, AI, crypto, financial markets, and then the signals most people miss until it's too late. In today's show, we're talking about how Google will invest up to $40 billion in Anthropic in cash and compute. Also, Google Maps getting a big dose of AI and could become a new frontier of advertisement and exposure for small businesses. OpenAI releases ChatGPT 5.5, bringing the company one step closer to an AI super app. Also, in today's show, we showcase the first episode of the AI Boys, so make sure you don't miss that one. Also, Justin Sun sues World Liberty Finance over frozen tokens. AAVE leads industry-wide effort to save DeFi after the Kelp DAO hack Contagion. Roy Lee, Cluey CEO, goes crazy because people don't take action. And Polymarket got hacked with a hairdryer. We'll break down what the headline says, what it actually means, and why it matters for your future. No hype, no fluff, just clear signals from the future. So smash them likes, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. Carlos, my man, did you know that Google plans to invest for up to $40 billion in Anthropic?
Well, I think it was something I had been wondering when it was going to happen. With Microsoft driving so much into OpenAI, somebody had to level the playing field with Anthropic, and Anthropic is on fire right now.
Oh, you are right. Microsoft took the lead with Anthropic, and Microsoft and Google are the good old rivals, right? From back in the days. So they need to take the opposing team. So that's a good guess. But it says here that Google plans to invest up to $40 million in Anthropic and support the AI firm's growing computing needs, Bloomberg reports. The promise of investment comes after Anthropic released its latest model, Methus, to a limited group of partners this month. Anthropic says that Methus is the company's most powerful model to date and has a significant cybersecurity applications. While Google is a direct competitor in AI models, it's also a key infrastructure supplier to Anthropic. Anthropic relies heavily on Google's cloud for chips and infrastructure, including access to Google's tensor processing units. That is the equivalent of NVIDIA for in terms of chips. So yes, like you said, Microsoft is betting for OpenAI. Google is betting for Anthropic, and NVIDIA is betting on both.
NVIDIA doesn't care. That's consumption.
They just buy my chips, buy my computer power. But I think that is very interesting because this also happens after Google already had a couple of weeks to play with the so-called Methus release. And I'll be honest, at the beginning, I was assuming this was all hype. Right. Because I was thinking, when did they train this? How much? There's so little being said. We're talking about GPT 5.5. We're about to talk about them here in a minute. Came out already. 4.7 of Claude came out. Kimi 2.6. DeepSeek version 4, I think, also came out. Everybody has been coming out, but nobody has been able to claim that their model is comparable even to Methus. So what, aren't they training pretty much all on the same amount of data?
Well, I think it's the model makes a difference, right? I give the example of you give let's say Claude Code or Claude Cowork or any of these to two individuals, and one of them will get it to sing like crazy, and the other one can't figure out how to get it to code anything right. And it's based on the fact that some individuals know how to talk to these models because
how it was trained
similarly. The human was trained similarly, right?
It's not just the data that is coming in, is how that data was directed through the pipelines, for lack of better words, during the training process. So the question that I have in mind here is, if Methus is such a powerhouse, isn't because Anthropic instead purposely trained Methus just to be a hacker?
Yes. Yeah.
So they didn't train. So the key here is, unlike everybody else, which they are in the race for AGI.
Yes.
Which is more general purpose.
Yes.
Models. What Anthropic did is, while we train also our general purposes, we're gonna allocate certain compute capacity to train a separate model, and this model is only going to be a hacker.
That's right.
And that's what Methus really is. And that's why it's really powerful, because it's the fear in the hearts of other companies that didn't do it before them. And now the cat is out of the bag.
Yes. And
okay, let me use yours because I'm not going to be able to train a similar one fast enough, and you will be able to hack me.
That's right.
So let me use it. Don't give it to nobody. And here's 40 billion.
That's right.
In investment. That's what
I mean. I claim that a good experienced engineer can do that with some of the general purpose models to some degree and do it well, but that's because they know what they don't know, right? And
but in the same, which is something that I thought so outrageous. You cannot hack with the general purpose models because of the guardrails. You cannot go to ChatGPT. You will have to first spend 3 days prompt hacking and prompt injecting the thing before you are finally able to get it to do some light, hacking. Right. Versus if you got Methus that was, it was trained to hack. It doesn't know how to do anything else. How can you even put guardrails on me? You cannot, because even putting any guardrails renders me useless.
Correct.
The only reason I'm useful is because I don't have any guardrails and I'm able to hack. So I'm going to make it private. I'm going to sell it to big dogs, and I'm going to use it as a way to blackmail-ish, in a way, way into, you might want to invest in me because you want me on your good side.
Yes.
So I got this. And it goes back to the same thing we spoke in the last episode, that all of the sudden these companies, by accepting Methus, it's like, oh, we offer you this for free because we need to make sure you secure your systems. Yes. But now all of a sudden I am allowing my systems to speak with your systems, and your systems can see everything in my systems. So now Anthropic is on top of the chain, and Anthropic now shows up on top of Google perception-wise, right?
Yes.
on top of Microsoft, because it's the one holding the model that is securing all of them.
Yes.
Too much power, in my opinion. Too much power, no?
I think so, but I think over time you're going to see other models get released. I'm sure you're going to have academic and even military models that are currently under development that are going to be typically more hardened, more whereas Anthropic is on the, let's say, commercial side of coding. There's some of these models that I'm aware of that I've seen that are pretty crazy hardened, right? Like I saw some demos this week of people that are building new hack detection for drones. As you know, the drones were very useful in the war. They're being used.
That's the big right now.
And these guys are now trying to figure out how to not let what happened to the drones on the other side this time happen to our drones, right? If we send our drones, can we detect them?
It's a big issue, especially with the jammers. How do I jam yours and not mine? How do I know that it also identification? A soldier hears a drone. How do I know it's a friendly or an enemy drone?
So I saw something this week called Sky Shield, and it detects the drones. It detects who they are. It pulls their firmware identification.
Oh, interesting.
It
brings all the info in fast to
detect.
The
info, and it can tell you what was written in the hardware, firmware, all that stuff. I mean, it was quick, right? And
nice.
and then the other thing they have now is they have anti-drone drones, and you can have a drone that comes in, sits on top of it, takes over, and goodbye. Drone now joins your collective.
Yeah, I have seen some videos in YouTube, drone wars. So what they have been doing is they have been putting literally forks with tape.
Yeah,
a fork, and then they attack. They launch towards the other drone, and if they can hit it with the fork, it disables it, right?
Yes.
But it looks so rudimentary. It looks so crazy. You know, it's like drones fighting with forks on the air, and that's what it has. That's what these wars have come down.
Yes.
Oh my God! But
so I saw it. I saw it this week. I was at a demo where they were demonstrating this, and there was only one company in the U.S. that was able to do it. But
that's beautiful. And those are the ones who are about to get the big bucks. Anybody building anything military grade, doesn't matter how complex or simple. You just have to think about it. $1.1 trillion in budget. All we have to do, is just build anything and get in the list of approved companies that can do deals with them, and you'll get a contract. You'll get something, right?
Yeah.
So anybody building this type of technologies, especially something like that, they're about to make big bucks. But moving on here, Google Maps. It looks like Google Maps finally is getting a dose of AI. And this time I think it's interesting. I use Google Maps a lot, especially when I am on the road in my Tesla, moving around in road trips. And I got to tell you, it's very useful. And I am surprised that it remains free. It's one of those things that people don't understand how useful is Google Maps. And it's a totally free utility. Of course, there's some advertisements, and we know there's some ads that run around, but are not as straightforward. The ads on Google Maps have never been fully fleshed out for small business. It's not like you own a barber shop.
Right.
You can go and advertise yourself in Google Maps. It's a very complex process, actually, where you build up the reputation of your barber shop on Google Places. And then that gets pulled up by the algorithms on Google Maps.
Yes.
But now it looks like Google Maps is receiving a new dose of AI, where I do finally see where Google may be able to build something that allows advertisements while remaining useful. And here's what I mean. Let me show you this So you see what I mean a little bit better. Let's hear this out.
Getting 2 new AI-powered updates that aim to make navigation more informative. So first, the Immersive navigation feature will create a 3D view of the buildings, overpasses, and terrain along your route. And it can also highlight traffic lights, lanes, and crosswalks. The second feature is called Ask Maps, and it can do everything from give recommendations for stops along a route to providing more information about specific amenities at a destination. Both features are currently being rolled out in the US. Google Maps.
There you have it. So as you can see, that Ask Maps feature is what I think, because she says recommended locations, recommended places. You want your business to be recommended by the AI, but somebody that is going by, pay up.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely.
For small businesses, that's what I'm talking, because it makes sense, right?
Yes.
I'm looking for restaurants to eat on the way. There's McDonald's, there's this, there's that. But then there's the taqueria. You want to show up instead of it also as well, pay a little bit. And now your taqueria is also an option among the big brands that they're forced to show anyways, right?
Well, I also saw the opportunity for businesses to be able to have what I would call more real-time influence. So, for example, let's say I can't afford to buy the monthly subscription to advertise my business, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can set up a budget for when somebody looks for the taco shop. It shows up and before showing my taco shop there, if there's budget and I say I will accept referrals, right? Basically, it can refer me, do a per lead cost to the taco.
Yeah, in real time, because Maps is able to see if the person stops.
That's right.
Oh, a new model. I pay only if the person stops.
That's right.
So that way Google shows everything.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter where you stop, it's gonna charge anyways.
That's right.
It's like a toll, and they can show that it was Maps what got them there.
That's correct.
It was Maps who recommended all the stores, including yours, and they decided to stop in yours since they can see that literally. They can even pinpoint you going through the drive-thru if they want to.
That's right.
And they depending on how you pay, they can even know how much you spend. Right?
That's scary.
It's scary. Well, they know it all already. That's the thing with Google Pay. If you're using an Android or Google Pay, they already know. And through aggregation and through collaboration with Visa and MasterCard, they get the rest. So there's a lot of predictive or dynamic advertisements that can be done in the new. But what I like about this is that it's non-intrusive for users.
Correct.
Right? It's not gonna be more ads on my social media feed. No, it's in Maps. I'm going, I'm traveling, I'm using. I am literally asking for stops and recommendations. I got hungry. Where can I go eat? Right? I need the bathroom. Where's the best place? Right? There's a rest area. There's entertainment, and if it's a big road trip, can also show like water parks or entertainment places, right? Like what is it? Buc-ee's, right? There's a Buc-ee's coming up, right? That's almost like a festival park now. It's not a gas station anymore. It's like a fair. You walk in, it's like a fair. You feel like, what's going on so much?
Exactly.
Why are they selling me a kayak in a gas station? So showing all this point of interest, I'm pretty sure it's like a new ad experience that is not intrusive, and I vouch for that, because small businesses need to advertise anyways. We all hate ads, but what we hate is really how the ad is presented.
Yes.
Not the ad itself.
Yes. Sometimes they show when we don't want them to show. Sometimes they show me ads that are not relevant. At the end of the day, we all need ads, because sometimes I'm in a new city. I don't know what to eat, but I know what I
I
want
gotta
to eat.
discover things. And how do you
Yeah,
discover new products or services? Many times it's through the ads, but
that's
showing
right.
at the appropriate times, or when I am actively looking for that particular type of service. Show me about new mechanics when I'm searching about a mechanic. But
Yes,
if you're gonna show me a mechanic every time I'm scrolling,
yes.
it makes no sense. But moving on here, Chat GPT have released its new GPT 5.5, and at its newest AI model, which the company calls its smartest and most intuitive to use model yet. The algorithm comes with increased capabilities in a multitude of areas, with which OpenAI co-founder and president Greg Brock, Brockman claiming that it also brings the company one step closer to the creation of OpenAI's super app. The model is a real step forward towards the kind of computer that we are expecting in the future, Brockman said. According to OpenAI, GPT 5.5 is designed to be useful across a broad array of categories, including foundational enterprise areas like agentic coding, knowledge work, but also more experimental AI applications like mathematics and scientific research. With that said, some users are taking shots at the new model on X, with Elon Musk not losing time when an user on X, or not wasting time to pinpoint the inefficiency, when an user on X asks the new model, count to 10, starting from 11. And ChatGPT 5.5 gave an obvious 11 to 12. So it went from 11 to 20. But you are supposed to count to 10, right? So you're counting to 10 starting from 11.
11,
So
yes.
from Grok was able to correctly answer, and it went 11, 10. So I'm starting from 10 and I go backwards to 10, right?
Yes.
So I was surprised that 5.5 was not able to catch this one. So obviously, when this happened, Elon came out swinging, laughing at it, and taking shots. Obviously, he hates Sam Altman, but it just pokes a hole in the whole narrative of this is step towards a new super app, and this is the next big thing. But yet, it cannot answer basic, logically flawed questions, right?
Yes.
So I wonder if OpenAI is training something better, something that comes out with more punch. Because as of late, these releases that have been coming, everybody else have been able to create hype and excitement behind the new releases. Kimi 2.6 came out, and I just saw a video from box mining. It was amazing. China guys are going crazy over it. DeepSeek came out with version 4, R4, and everybody's going crazy about it. Anthropic with the new 0.7. Then here comes GPT 5.5, which they want to beat Gemini's release, because Gemini is about to release a new one too.
Yes.
And there's no excitement and something, I don't know why, but I feel like the vibes, like Microsoft vibes, maybe because they're an investor. But you remember when they tried everything to make Internet Explorer sexy?
Yeah.
And they couldn't. They
could.
Like after an initial release, Internet Explorer was the Explorer,
Yes.
version 1, right? But after Chrome came around, which is Anthropic's version,
Yes.
right? Equivalent. Chrome is Anthropic's equivalent of
the browser.
Chrome. So I wonder if soon, OpenAI is just gonna be for the boomers, right? Just Facebook.
Well, I mean, you saw Microsoft displays Apple in corporate environments, right? And it took them a while to do it, but for the longest time, Apple was sort of the thing that was leading, and then at some point Microsoft hit Windows. Windows was horrible. Then they introduced OS2. OS2 almost worked, but not really. And then finally they hit Windows 3.1, which introduced what now has become sort of the standard for all UIs. And then it started hitting that. But the thing that hit the most was when they started doing Active Directory, right? And,
Okay.
And the corporations now all of a sudden figured out that they could capture all their employees into Active Directory and give access controls to all
fix
corporate
all the access issues within a corporation fast and easy to the point where in corporations Windows is what continues to dominate across
because nobody wants to redo their directories. Their directories have all that knowledge of who has access to what printer and what on what floor. What?
Yeah, but then it's all about the business model. When Microsoft saw that they were losing grip on users, they went after the enterprise client. But what I see here is Anthropic taking a hold of the enterprise client and also the users. Codex is doing the battle in the programming side, but when it comes to the general purpose,
I think that you're going to see a couple of things. One is I think there's what I would call the retail market. ChatGPT pretty much still owns my mom, my.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. I finally got rid of the subscription last month, but it's because that was the first thing I got when it first came out on 3.5, and I just stayed with it until actually last month when Kimi 2.5 came around, where finally I saw something that made me. That for me was exciting enough to switch over. And of course, I had others like Claude and whatnot and Replate and Vibrate. But the thing is that those are add-ons. I for the general purpose, the things that I ask for a recipe, or if I ask about, I feel a pain under my ribs. Am I gonna die? Am I gonna die?
Yes.
Right. I'm using right now. I use Kimi, but I was using ChatGPT for all of that. So I get your point where a lot of the old people, people don't like to change or to jump from service to service too often. So they'll take that. They have that first movers advantage.
They do.
But they have two big issues. First of all, they're falling behind on training, because these guys that came around took shortcuts, or for whatever reason, however they were able to do it, they were able to deploy as intelligent systems for less cost. Then it came the likability of the CEO, which I think in this case is a big problem. I may not like Dario from Anthropic, but I love him in comparison with Sam.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Sam is just a very unlikable CEO. And when you have an unlikable CEO, that carries on to the brand of the whole company. I'm sorry. But when you have somebody that's being accused of raping his sister, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd rather stay away until I find out.
Yes.
So I'm not sure why. I mean, keep him around, but put him on the board, put him with the team, and bring a more likable face as the face of the company. That is what I think they should do first, and then come out swinging with a model that benchmark-wise can gather some FOMO and excitement again, and then try to carry the momentum forward. Because otherwise, they will continue to lose it, and before you know it, they're just gonna be another Internet Explorer that nobody wants to touch it. No, they release Edge. Anybody that gave Edge a real try knows that Edge is an amazing browser, maybe way better than Chrome. Problem is that by the time they released Edge, nobody wanted to ever try any browser built by Microsoft. And so Edge never took on. And that was a reality. Well, anyways.
And look how many years it took them to get Edge out the door.
That's why. By the time they finally did something, people were fed up. So OpenAI is still in a position to regain the love from the people if they do these two changes. First, you got to change your CEO. No matter how many Forbes articles you pump out, how many puff pieces with leftist reporters you put out, you cannot make somebody that is not cool. You're either cool or not cool. I don't make the rules. You see what I'm saying?
I like that one. You should get quoted on that one.
You're either cool or you're not cool. There's no way, I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. I just follow them, right? And and then there's nothing more cringe than somebody that is not cool wanting to be cool. Oh my God. That's him. That's Sam Altman. Somebody that's definitely not cool, wanting to be cool so hard. He wants to be accepted so hard. And he tries so hard that it's cringe.
Yeah.
And then it results in the actual opposite effects. It creates a rejection from people.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that's the truth. But either way, everybody's trying to build their own empire to the point that now sleuths, degens in X, people in X, however you want to call them, right?
Yeah.
Anons on X are building a new series. Actually, I don't think this is an anon. This is by Hido Gist or whatever your name is, bro. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name very well, but he created this, and I think it was pretty dope. So I was like, let me show it to you guys on the show. It's just 1 minute, but pretty accurate if you ask me. Let's check it out.
Our AI has no limits anymore. We have a military contract with the government. Now the war against cancer begins.
What the fuck?
And I have a surprise for you all.
Doesn't it look cool?
Doesn't look cool?
You're a beginner. That suit can't compete with my biotechnological ex-servicer as head.
What are you talking about, bro? Oh man!
Everybody's racing for their high-tech tool. The meta glasses.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Hido is episode 1 of the AI boys, so keep out, because if he keeps pumping them out, we're gonna keep showing them.
Gentlemen,
They are fun.
No limit.
That's for sure. That's really very entertaining.
I like how he copied Megamind. That was really fun.
Yeah, that was really fun, but it's fun because it's true. When you think about it, they are kind of all seeing themselves as a superhuman now.
Superhero, yes.
Because I am the AI lord, right?
Yeah.
And the AI that I am giving you, and not only that, they want to portray themselves as I'm such a good hero that I am sharing my superpowers with you, peasants, right?
You are in the presence of greatness.
Anyways, this podcast is brought to you by Voice Sales Flow. Transform your website with intelligent voice sales agent to deploy AI-powered voice assistants to help customers answer questions and drive conversations 24/7. When a customer comes to your website, he wants answers. So you can have a sales rep 24/7 ready to answer any questions that your customers may have at a tip of your fingers. By deploying Voice Sales Flow on your website, you can train an AI assistant that can handle customer service, sales, take quotes, and more. This AI assistant will be able to deliver your leads to your inbox while you sleep. So get Voice Sales Flow today and transform your websites with intelligent voice sales agents. Hey, my man.
I told you I love the product. I use it myself on my websites.
Yeah, man, it's been great. The thing continues to work and continues to deliver, and it's been enhanced for what I hear. So we are so happy to have them as sponsors. did you know that? Remember that World Liberty Finance were accused of like a big scam a couple of weeks ago. Well, Justin Sun came out swinging this last week, and he is suing in a California federal court World Liberty Finance over his illegal rights as a holder of the WLFI tokens. It looks like Justin says that unfortunately certain individuals on the World Liberty Finance project team have been operating the project in a manner that goes against the Web3 principles and values. They wrongfully froze all his tokens and stripped him of his rights to vote and the governance proposals. So, and they have also threatened to permanently destroy his tokens by burning them. So he took them to court. So be in the lookout, because these are big whales fighting. Justin Sun, for those of you that don't know, is the founder of the Tron blockchain, one of the biggest blockchains in the whole ecosystem. He is also famously known because he's the guy who bought a banana in an art piece. I don't know if you remember the banana that sold for over $1 million. So that was him, the guy who bought the banana. A lot of people know him because of the banana. But the reality is that he is a very, very knowledgeable person in the ecosystem. He knows blockchains inside and out. He's an avid advocate for the Web3 core principles of decentralization, and he feels like he was taken advantage of by the World Liberty Finance teams, which also have some people in the presidential family involved. So we hope he finds clarity soon, and I hope he wins, because what they're doing to him is not fair. It's just not. And some people in the industry claims or think that he has done some shady things in the past. I'm not too sure about that. There are some questionable things. Many things that he has done that are questionable, like he's famous for doing announcements of announcements. I don't know if you know that tactic. We announce that on Friday we're going to be doing an announcement. It's an announcement of an announcement, right?
Yes.
He was famous for doing that, causing movements on the tokens, and people will criticize him a lot for doing that. But, nobody has been able to ever convict him for any wrongdoing. He has never been convicted. He has never been prosecuted. All the money that he has, whether legit or not, he's still out there. And when I look at the Tron blockchain, a lot of people hate it, but it works. Continues to be decentralized, and it's implementing a unique feature, the bandwidth concept, that I think is very useful, especially for to bank individuals who are very poor and doesn't have enough money to pay for the gas. Then an allowance on bandwidth allows you to send transactions without gas, but you can do maybe 1 or 2 transactions per day, right? And if you want to do beyond that, then you have to pay gas with the Tron token. So, and that was, in my opinion, very revolutionary back then when he deployed this. We're talking, I think it was 2013, 14 even. I don't even remember. But I don't think it was in 2017 or after. I don't think it was after. Yeah, maybe it was after Ethereum. It was after Ethereum. I got my dates messed up here. All I'm trying to say is that, the guy is hated in many circles in the industry. I don't personally hate him. I don't hold anything against him, because I understand the history and all of the things that went down. And in comparison to what others did, he did nothing. And everything that he delivered and produced continues to be live, continues to be working, continues to be supported. Many things that people call a scam, guess what? They're still live, and they're still generating revenue. They're still working. So they're generating more revenue than other things that were not a scam, right? And actually, that were clearly not a scam, but somehow they're 99% down for some reason, right? But they're not a scam. So I do believe that World Liberty Finance, in my personal opinion, without having all the facts in front of me, of course, are doing him wrong, and I hope that he gets justice in court because it's not cool.
That's right.
Moving on into other topics, AAVE was affected big time by the Kelp DAO hack, something that took place last week. We were speaking about it in our last episode, but the contagion that came out of that was so huge that over $18 billion left AAVE. So AAVE has been moving, leading an effort into trying to save DeFi. Here's a TLDR. Basically, Kelp DAO exploits hits AAVE, and with over 230 million in bad debt that cost, and then within 6 days, a dozen of protocols pool almost 161 million to cover it. The attacker dumped the tokens on AAVE. AAVE was left holding the bad debt. Then the AAVE DAO proposed a 25,000 ETH from its treasury. And then Mantle came around and offered 30,000 ETH. And then it looks like, who else? Stani Kuleshkov personally wired 5,000. So it's like a combined effort of people in the ecosystem, companies and people.
Trying to save.
EtherFi, another 5,000. AAVE's own VP of engineer, Emilio Frangella, another 500. The Golem Foundation, another 1,000. So everybody's pitching in. Layer Zero, Frax Finance, Inc. Foundation, everybody pitching in, and a total of 69,534 ETH have been pulled, totaling over 161 million. So this is a combined effort by the whole industry that are looking to save the industry. So we hope it works. What is this? Why I had this here? I wasn't going to show this. So I'm not sure why I have this tab up. But what I wanted to talk about was about Polymarket. Did you know that Polymarket got hacked with a hairdryer?
A hairdryer.
A hairdryer.
Now this I have to see.
How do you even think that's possible?
Heat, right?
So a guy realized that in France, the weather market was being settled by one of the sensors in the Charles de Gaulle airport, right? So it's a single sensor deciding the market, right? So he figured
out that was the sensor.
He figures out the exact location. He showed up in person. He pulls out his phone. He places a bet that the max temperature was going to be around 22 Celsius when everybody was betting that it was going to be around 18, right? So he places a bet, and then he pulls out a hairdryer, hits the air around the sensor for a minute or two, and then he leaves. He just waits until, right? Because you can look at this data.
Until his data's where he wants it.
And then he just leaves. And he won, how much? He walked away with $34,000. And he actually did it twice. Man, sometimes I gotta love the ingenuity of these scammers. Not scammers. I think I see this guy as a guy that was able to find an inefficiency
in the algorithm,
in the market, right? And took advantage of it. So it's not like a scammer that is draining wallets or so to speak. It's just, but people have like a unique way to come up with these ideas on how to take advantage of the system.
One is the idea. The other one is, who has the time? Like, I don't have the time to go walk around trying to find out how the temperature that drives the algorithm, how would you know? Like, really, like, I don't know. Maybe he had access to.
Well, if you're an Uber driver, you're driving around, you know the location very well, and you realize, you know what? The only real way that they can provide that market is by that sensor. There's no because remote areas, blah 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 blah.
Or he had some insider knowledge.
Yeah, how did he know that it was settled by just one sensor? Yeah, that's something
that's what I'm saying.
It
almost feels like this was an insider.
Yeah, because if otherwise, if you were to invest that energy into coming up with a legit way of making money, bro, you're almost a genius. How did you come up with such an idea? Unless, like you said, somebody that knew from the inside. Let me call my cousin in France.
Yes.
He drives an Uber on France.
Yes.
Let him know that he can do this.
I whenever I see something that intricate, right, you either have to be one of these super geniuses, and I imagine there's some of them, but this was not about genius. This was about intel, right?
Well, let's get tuned in with our very own friend of the show, Gabriel Haynes, because it looks like he has something on the matter. Let's see what he has to say here.
I trade shit coins on my phone while doing the Uber, but I lost a whole bunch of money on the coin. I was looking for more profit avenues. They measure the temperature in France. How do they measure the temperature? And I saw that they measure it at Charles de Gaulle. And they take all of the data from one thermometer. I climbed over the fence, I hopped in, and this is the first time I did it. It did not work very well. I had to just blow on the sensor very hard. I lost more money on that one, but then this time I brought the air dryer. I brought the air dryer in a backpack. No security whatsoever. I went like this, and voila, I turned a no into a oui. And now I'm in the French Riviera, living my life, looking for the next 2000 next opportunity. Thank you very much to this air dryer. I will be trading more on Polymarket.
So yeah, that's pretty much what went down. That's pretty much what went down, man. It's crazy. But as of today's date, the Bitcoin market, the crypto market is holding up with Bitcoin doing a move up towards the $78,000. We're still waiting to hit around 84. We need to flip these 200 on the daily, the 200-day moving average. If we can flip this zone bullish, get above 84, 85, I think that could be a clear signal that we're back into the bull zone again, and we can see a run up.
Then your wife is going to be very happy.
Oh, my wife will be very happy. Well, she is already happy because she managed to get in at 66.
60, right?
Yeah, 66, 67. So right now she's happy, but what I'm telling her is like, watch out, because this could be a fake out, because if we don't manage to break above this zone and hold it, then the leg down will be even more atrocious. We will get into the 50s down here below the 200 week, not day, but then the 200 week moving average. We may come and visit that zone down here, but let's see if we can get above the 85,000, this zone right here. We should be up for a good run. Let's see what happens, especially with all the things happening around the world. We don't really know what's gonna happen, right? And at any moment, anybody can come out with some crazy announcement and send everything down or up. Either way, at this point, that's what I say. That's why I love the fact that I'm not a day trader, because I will be pulling my hair right about now if I were to be a day trader. So it's better to look for the big positions, the big swings, accommodate yourself and wait it out and see and let the whole move play. We also see Ethereum sitting around 2,356. Gold, where's gold and silver? Gold is 4,700, right? 4,700. Silver $75. So all looking good. Holding, those prices are holding. They got up here. Everybody was expecting, especially on silver, a much drastic pull down, especially after silver did a full run to the. I mean, it is a pull down. This is already a 49, almost a 50% down movement, but right now sitting at what, at 38% from the top, but the run was from the $30 all the way to 120. Man, that's a huge run, and to still be holding above 75, man, it's a whole new repricing. That's the thing. I don't think that we will ever see silver below 50. That's the reality we're living in right now.
Well, and as you know, the use of silver in electronic circuitry, with the hunger that you have for all these GPUs and stuff.
Now, with these all new data center builds, the demand is astronomically high, and China wobbling up every physical demand they can do. So
I can tell you that right now I have clients that I've had in the past right now fully hang on, let me make sure this guy stops ringing. We have Chinese clients right now trying to get their hands on anything that's AI, blockchain, all the hardware, right? And the U.S.
all the compute power they can,
and the U.S. blocking all the exports, for them. But I saw an order this week was, I think, $82 million in a single order, right?
Wow.
And the
U.S. not stopping. This is not stopping.
It's not stopping, right? And
so silver, copper, titanium, all those resources will be, aluminum, all of them will continue to go up and up. The RAM sticks, man, I'm recycling mine. I got a couple computers here, and if I'm gonna start taking those instead of buying new ones, because it's just too much. Just too much.
Yeah, no,
keep up.
I saw an order come for, I think they said 100 tons of mercury a month.
Wow.
And I'm like, what are you gonna do with 100 tons of mercury? And then it's all about circuitry, electronics.
Yeah. There's nothing else. And make sure that you guys break free from the chains that shackles you, because this podcast is also brought to you by the DeGen Wallet. Your money on chain forever. One app, infinite possibilities. Swap, stake, borrow, spend your money, your crypto, your rules, your future. So break from the shackles of your bank that doesn't let you do anything. And every time you try to do a withdrawal, it's asking you what you're going to do with your money. Here, we only have 3 words as our manifesto: freedom, speed, and power. We don't ask you anything. You can send your money and spend it anywhere you want. You can send it instantly everywhere you want, and you can grow your wealth, staking and lending your money to earn real yield, not those pennies that the bank wants to give you if you transfer your money to a savings account. So download the DeGen Wallet today and join the decentralized generation. Also, this podcast is brought to you by Records Detective, your #1 source of comprehensive data lookup. If you are in the market looking to buy a vehicle, make sure that you don't do so before first coming through the VIN checker of recordsdetective.com and checking all the history of that vehicle. You can know if your vehicle is a lemon or not. You can see all the sales records. You can see all the previous accidents and see if it has a salvage or reconstruction in the title, all before you fall prey of a shady sales cars guys. So swing by recordsdetective.com today and make sure you get that complete history report on that vehicle. My man, it looks like Microsoft accidentally told the truth about AI. So
accidentally.
Let's check this out.
There's a dude on YouTube making a video about how miserable the job market is for software developers right now. And I catch his video because in the thumbnail, his left eye is super red. And humans, we catch on to these things quickly. So I click the video, and it is the most unhinged beginning to a YouTube video that I have ever seen. He spends the first 5 seconds just staring at the camera deadpan while taking a sip of his tea without breaking eye contact. Then he suddenly leans in, points at his eye, and he's like, yeah, this is from AI. This is literally from the stress of job hunting. He's been laid off for 9 months now and has been applying nonstop to jobs, and in some cases going really far into the interview process with a couple of companies. One company in particular, he went 9 rounds with, and he's 100% sure this.
Wait a minute. Stop.
9 rounds?
Stop. 9 rounds with a company. Like who has the time to do 9 rounds of interviews?
Yeah.
If I am in an interview and anybody wants to hire me and they want to do a second round, forget about a third or a second round, that just tells me that they are in no hurry. They are not in any immediate need of my position. So they're going to make it hell to go in and very easy to get out. So why is he, man, is really that bad out there? I mean, or are these just professional job seeking guys, like, so that they can continue to collect the unemployment check?
Yes. Yes.
Man, it's crazy. Let's see what he says.
Doesn't get the job, and his heart drops. He couldn't believe it. He asks them, he's like, why? What happened? And they share with him the winning job entry. The winning guy used 100% AI. It has 30 more features than the poor bastard Garrett, who used 50% AI and 50% manual. Garrett's basically the guy who in 1849 heard about gold in California and went, you know what? I'll walk to Nevada and see how I feel. I mean, the winning dude wasn't even present when his application was submitted. For all we know, he was taking a shit while Claude was fluctuating. And that dude now has equity and a 401k. And meanwhile, Garrett is at home writing unit tests and making his code dry and shit. And his eyes filling with blood. One guy's shitting, the other guy's hemorrhaging. Guess which one the market chose? And the jobs exist, by the way. Software engineering postings are up 11%. But the market has spoken, and the market said, we want more stuff, and we want it faster, and we want it cheaper. And you can sit there and say, but what about quality? What about maintainability?
We were speaking about this last week. That's exactly. It. Entry level. Now you have to show up with blazing guns, shooting. Just guns out, just shooting. Everything with a lot of stuff to show up, off. Otherwise, you're not going to be picked. But the thing is, like, you can build all of that with AI. You don't have to build it yourself.
Yeah.
And the market goes, did I stutter, bitch?
Right?
There's no excuse for somebody coming in with a shallow portfolio.
No, there's none.
The thing that got you hired in 2019 is the thing getting you fired in 2026. Nobody reads their own code anymore, man, let alone your code. It's a dead skill. It's like reading hieroglyphics. It's time for you to adapt and face the slop. Don't argue. Imagine more slop.
Embrace the slop.
Be the slop. Slop is peace. Slop is strength. You will eat the bugs and you will make the slop. Learn to enjoy it. For over 2 years now, AI tools were the greatest sale in the history of software. $20 a month, and you get a half brilliant, half retarded senior engineer in a box. Your CEO almost had a heart attack. It was such a good deal. They called it unlimited, and back then, unlimited used to mean something. Unlimited meant, and I looked this up, without limits.
Without limits,
now, unlimited means until we find out how much you actually want it, and then we'll tell you the real number.
Oh man, I remember the first time a telephone company introduced me. They introduced me into the concept of normal human behavior is unlimited up to the amount of what we consider to be normal human behavior.
Yes.
So that's how many texts you really have in your unlimited text plans. Which, guess what? It turns out that unlimited meant 200. You got 200 messages a day. You do more than 200, we're gonna filter them out and call you spam. What I digress.
And in 2026, the results are finally in, and the results are you'll pay anything. And now the price is anything. Microsoft just leaked that Copilot is moving to token-based billing because its weekly cost of running the thing nearly doubled since January. What's wild is that the bad answer costs as much as the good answer. And the tokens you're paying for include the tokens the model wastes on itself. Because the model thinks out loud. It like argues with itself. It writes a draft, then second guesses. So it starts over. Then it goes, actually, let me reconsider. And every one of those anxious utterances is on your tab. You are paying.
Yes, that's something that people don't understand. That is very differently of how we used to do things. Like before, when I hired a developer, I wanted a function, and if I'm paying, unless I'm paying by the hour, which is a different model, but if I'm paying by if it's a gig, he's to be continue to work on that, and I just pay for the working piece of software. I'm not paying for anything. I just want, it may take you longer. I don't care. I'm paying for a working piece of software versus on here, I'm paying for every bug. I'm paying for every bad decision. I'm paying for every left, every right, every time that it got something right and it got something wrong. You pay for all of it. At the end, yes, I granted, you still paid less overall to get the thing done. No questions. But this is introducing the concept that in which you pay for the good, but you also pay for the bad. You pay for the mistakes as well. And I don't know how I feel about that. If I'm honest. I don't know how I feel about that.
Paying for this thing to have a nervous breakdown in front of you, and you're billed to the millionth of a syllable. And at the end of the breakdown, it produces some answer. And the answer is wrong 25% of the time, according to this new Microsoft paper. A new paper dropped on Archive last week with a title where you could tell they try to make it sound less bad than it is, but they just couldn't figure out how to pull it off. It's called LLMs Corrupt Your Documents When You Delegate. The authors work at Microsoft Research, the division of Microsoft where, for obscure historical reasons, the employees are allowed to say things that are true. And across 52 domains, the frontier models corrupt 25% of document content by the end of a long workflow. The paper describes the errors as sparse but severe, which, they're trying to make it sound like charming, like it's glitter or something. Sparse but severe is how you describe a sniper, bro. And they gave the model the ability to use tools, and they found giving the bot tools made it 6% worse. This is the first time in documented history that we've managed to create a tool that becomes less useful when you give it more capability. One of the experiments was essentially edit a document, then undo it. And the best AIs couldn't do it without insane corruption. We had the Control-Z button, man. It was free. A dad walks in on his 9-year-old daughter on her laptop, and she immediately slams the laptop shut and starts crying. She's like, "Dad, it's not what you think, I swear." But he knew exactly what she was doing. She was using Google AI. And he wasn't specifically pissed that she was using Gemini, although that is pretty upsetting. He was worried for her future. And the way she was using it was honestly horrible. She's asking the thing questions on how to get along with her sisters better, and how to swim faster after a swim meet, and for creating fan fiction plot lines for her favorite book series. And her dad freaks out and posts this on Reddit like he just discovered his daughter is selling feet pics on the internet. He's like, "She's not in trouble, but we had a long conversation and she's devastated. She now fully understands how sycophantic and insidious it is." Which, firstly, good job. You managed to teach your kid 2 4-syllable words that are insults directed at a bot. But I mean, the poor kid, her spelling test next week is going to be insane. Her teacher's going to go, "Use sycophantic in a sentence." And she's going to go, "The large language model was sycophantic." And the teacher's going to go, "Huh?" And then she's going to go, "It is also insidious." And the teacher's just going to walk out, man. She's like, "I'm done. I'm so done with this generation." But I feel for the dad. Honestly, I do. He has to make sense of a technology for his kid that he himself doesn't even understand. There's no precedent for an omniscient, always-on ghost in your kid's pocket. What do we want for our kids? You want her to be good at something, right? You want her to earn her skills. But the problem is that her friend's parents let her use AI, and her friend at 9 is shipping AAA games to Steam. By 13, your daughter is making basic 3D printed fidget spinners, and her best friend is shipping enterprise SaaS. The SaaS has 3% uptime, which sounds bad, but honestly, Anthropic would kill for that number. And I'm so conflicted because if my 4-year-old draws a house with a little square and a triangle on top,
right
with
there,
a little sun in the corner, I would literally cry. Whereas if she showed me an oil on canvas that she generated that is objectively stunningly beautiful and may even be something that represents her, I'm still ultimately unimpressed and maybe even bothered. And the question is why? Why does the ugly thing make me cry while the pretty thing makes me cringe? And I've been thinking about this a lot. And really, this brings to mind the fact that while AI has whopping width, like a sheer breadthness that is impossible for humans to even fathom, humans have depth that is impossible for an AI to fathom. The reason I cry at my daughter's sloppy drawing is because of the infinite depth it possesses. Here, represented in this drawing, is a manifestation of love. It is a process of nourishment and nurturing that has been 4 years in the making. From not knowing how to say dada, to crawling, to laughing, walking, eating with a spoon, and now drawing a picture of the house in which she lives with the family that loves her more than anything. That crayon painting is more Mona Lisa to me than the actual Mona Lisa. So when my daughter prompts for an art piece, I'm not moved because there's no story. And without a story, humans are just aimless floating amalgamations of molecules and cells. Art is precisely depth. That is precisely what it is. It is precisely story. To me, it seems like the usage of AI has no benefit other than for commercial purposes, and even then has limited usage. If you're creating a hobby project, you're either creating it for the enjoyment the process brings you, or you're creating it to learn about the process itself and to climb the ladder of skill. Using AI robs you of both opportunities. It is neither enjoyable nor educational. And so I am of the mind that the dad in this situation, while it is a tough call that is impossible to model out, he did the right thing. He gave his daughter the opportunity to struggle in a time where people are gambling with their child's upbringings and values and livelihood on the oversold promise of AI that is exclusively being propagated by OpenAI and Anthropic. Here is a man who chose to raise his daughter with his own values and beliefs and not those of Sam Altman and Dario Amodei. If he turns out to be wrong, well, guess what? Opus 20, by the time she's in college, will surely be a thing that requires no mind at all. And that's already arguably the case today. And by then, she's gained a voice, a style, perspective, suffering, struggling, experience, depth, longing, understanding, and ultimately a story. A story about what life, beauty, and its lack is. Whereas the kid prompting all day learned how to delegate. End of list. Nothing else was learned. As with all things, the truth is likely somewhere in the middle, but I'm very curious what you think. Thanks for watching.
There you have it. So, very interesting takes. What do you think?
Well, I think that, like you said, the answer is somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm. It's somewhere.
Because, I have college kids, and I know they turn to GPT here and there. I still, when we talk about things, I still want them to learn things, to learn the things.
But like I say, unless your kids had the opportunity to go through their childhood without something like ChatGPT, I worry about the new generations.
Oh, no, absolutely. Like for me, I still gave him a '66 Mustang to go start banging his knuckles on old hardware that doesn't
carburetors.
Yes, right. So they learn the process of thinking, think what's flowing from where to where, what's the subsystem, how does it
try to nivellate that, to regulate the air and the liquid on the carburetor. You're gonna spend 5 days and then learn pretty much a lot about combustion.
And why does this thing? Right. Why does this thing still leak after I changed every gasket on it? And it's still leaking. Like, where's it coming from? So I instead of saying, don't jump into AI, don't jump into these things, which I think they should, right? I give them other ways to engage their head in things that I know they're, even if they go talk to the AI isn't going to be able to turn the screw, right?
So there will be a big demand then for companies that are able to build toys and games that start teaching these basic things that we assume they're going to learn in school,
right?
Because there won't anymore, because everything's going to be an AI-centric type of education. And while they may learn to write and read, they will not learn all the other important aspects of depths, and to learn to struggle. So games and things that purposely force kids to struggle through the problem, to come up to the solution themselves without any totem, without any help, right? Without any crutch, right?
And which is funny, right? Because now we're saying we need to come up with ways to simulate reality.
This is
right? It's crazy.
This is crazy, man. Well, that's the world we live in, and we just get ready for the future. So thank you, everybody, for watching another episode. We'll see you again next week. And until then, remember that we bring the news from the future.